Hello everyone, and welcome to this how-to video on how to create an employee onboarding checklist using Office 365 and SharePoint Online. So let's get into it. On the topics today, I'm going to cover in enough detail so that you understand, not a lot of detail because this is not a training session, but I will cover in enough detail what is a list, how you can create a list, and other mechanisms within SharePoint such as fields and metadata, views and versioning and alerts, so that you can combine to create a checklist, an employee tracking checklist for yourself, or a tracking list if you will. So I will cover in detail what is a list, what are fields, what is metadata, what are views, what is versioning, and what are alerts. So let's go to the fun part. Let's go into the demo. Okay. As you can see on my screen, I have a sample team site created for myself. I've called it the Horus team site. And this is in Office 365, as you can see on your page. It's in Office 365 and SharePoint Online. And what I'm going to do is, first thing that I need to do in order to create an onboarding checklist is I need to create a list. Specifically, I need to create an onboarding checklist or a custom checklist. So on the left navigation, if you're following my mouse, I'm going to click on the Site Contents tab. I'm going to click Add an App. And when I click Add an App, I'm going to find the custom list app, and I'm going to click it. And then I'm going to call it Employee Onboarding Checklist. Employee Onboarding Checklist. It was red because I was missing the dash. I'm going to click Create. This is going to create the employee onboarding checklist for me in my All Site Contents page. I'm going to click on the employee onboarding checklist page to get to the employee onboarding checklist. First things first, what I need to do in order to figure this out, in order to properly set this list up, first thing I need to do is I need to go under list settings and I need to turn on versioning. You will see later in this demonstration why versioning is important as part of this demo. But right now I'm just going to turn it on, and later on I will demo why versioning is important. So I'm going to go under the list tab on the top navigation. Under browse and items, there's going to be a third tab. I'm going to click the list tab. I'm going to go under list settings, and then under list settings I'm going to click under versioning settings, and I'm going to say create a new version each time in item versioning history. I'm going to click yes and click OK. What this allows me to do is keep track of whenever an item is changed, it creates a version or a new version of that item, so that in case I need to revert to older changes, or in case I need to go back into the version history to see who made what changes to a particular item, versioning will automatically track that for me. So I turned versioning on for that purpose. Now I'm going to go to scroll down, and I'm going to find my column section. Within the column section, the first things first is, very first thing that I like to do as part of this demo is I'm going to change the column name from title to employee name and click OK. This is the primary column. This is going to track the name of the employee for whom I'm creating this check, or this is going to be the column name. So there are going to be other columns that I need to track as part of this list. For those of you who don't know, a list consists of two primary concepts. One is called a column and the other called a row. A column, or a metadata property, in this case we have the following metadata properties: employee name, modified, created by, modified by, are basically columns that track and keep or singular pieces of information, whereas items or records indicate rows. And these concepts will become clear to you as I start to create new column/metadata fields, and as I create new records for you as well. So first I'm going to create a column. I'm going to call this department. I'm going to make it a choice field. I'm I'm gonna call, let's say my business has 3 departments: IT, accounting, sales. It's a little, this, for the purposes of this demo, I'm gonna keep this list slightly simplistic, but you will start to see the details as I continue to create this. Next, I'm going to create another column under the Create Column button under List Settings. I'm going to call this column Computer Assigned question mark. I'm going to make this a yes, no / checkbox column. I'm going to click OK. And again, under List Settings, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find the Create Column button. I'm going to keep doing this for multiple columns that I'm going to create. I'm going to do this a little bit faster in the interest of time. Choice, not choice, yes, no. Click OK. Another thing that I forgot to mention, that's a good point. When I went to Computer Assigned, I left the default value to yes. In this case, I want to make sure that I set the default value to no. And I click OK. Next, I'm going to say Create Column. Oh, bad spelling. Yes, no column. Default value set to no. Okay. Cube / room number. Let's leave this at single line of text. Click OK. And another field we're going to create for the purposes of this demo, it's going to be extension assigned. This is also going to be a yes no field. I'm going to set the default value to no and click OK. Okay, so a basic structure of my employee onboarding checklist is now ready. The following metadata / column fields have been defined: employee name, department of the employee, whether a computer has assigned to him or not, whether all his software has been installed or not, whether a physical space has been assigned to him or not, what is his cube number, and after his cube has and / room number hasn't been assigned, has an extension been assigned to him or not. This is a very simple and straightforward onboarding checklist. For any mid to large size business, the onboarding checklist is going to be a lot more complicated, but for a small business it might be a slightly more complicated than this, but you will start to get the general idea as to what type of fields that you're going to need. So after this, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create multiple views. So I'm going to create a standard view. I'm going to call this the computer assigned view. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to add a filter. This is view, and I only want to see items within this view when the computer assigned field is equal to yes. And I click OK. I'm going to go back to my list. I'm going to create another view. This time I'm going to use the computer assigned view as my template to start. I'm going to create a different view. I'm going to call it software installed view. But in this view, what I would like to see is I would like to see only those items in which the field software installed is equal to yes, not computer assigned is equal to yes. So in this case, software installed is equal to yes. I'm going to click Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my list. I'm going to check the multiple views that I have. I'm just going to go switch to my default view for the purposes of the rest of the demo. So now I have created a basic structure, a basic onboarding checklist structure for you. And within this checklist structure, I'm going to add 2 employees. I'm going to add myself, Faisal Akhtar, and I'm going to add another employee called John Smith. And I'm going to give them different attributes of the checklist, and we will see the evolution slash progress on how a checklist can be created and modified, and how the process can move along within the, how you can track the onboarding checklist. So I'm going to create 2 new items for now. I'm going to first create the Faisal Akhtar employee name ID. And in this case, I'm going to leave the other fields to their default values. I'm going to say Faisal Akhtar is within IT, department is IT, computer has not been assigned yet, software has not been installed yet, physical space has not been assigned yet, and an extension has not been assigned to him yet. I'm going to click Save. There is Faisal Akhtar for me. I'm going to create another employee onboarding checklist. I'm going to call him John Smith. This time I'm going to change his department to accounting. I'm going to click Save. So now within my employee onboarding checklist, I have 2 employees that are currently in the process of being onboarded. I have Faisal Akhtar and I have John Smith. So first things first. I would like to come in here and specify that a computer has been assigned to Faisal Akhtar. So I'm going to click the edit menu and select a checkbox next to the computer assigned box and click Save. So now what you can imagine is a small business office assistant or administrative assistant can maintain this onboarding checklist, and anytime a new employee gets onboarded, they can start a new checklist. And as the employee moves through the onboarding process, as they get assigned a computer, assigned an extension, get assigned a piece of equipment, you can that person can start checking those boxes as necessary. But notice that one thing that we made sure of, we created a new view in which we said we would only like to see items in which the field computer assigned is equal to yes. So I'm going to click the back button, and this time I'm going to switch the view and the list view from the all items view. In this case, the reason I'm seeing both John Smith and Faisal Akhtar in this view is because this is the all items view. But now I would only like to see those folks or those people, or a report of those folks or those employees who have had a computer assigned to them. I'm going to click on the computer assigned view, and as soon as I do that, John Smith disappears from view. Why is that? The reason is that John Smith currently does not have a computer assigned to him. That's why this employee, only Faisal Akhtar, shows up in this view. So another mechanism with which you can facilitate your onboarding process is, now you can run this report and figure out which employee is where within the onboarding process. But another cool thing that you can do with SharePoint Online is that you can set up alerts based on views. What I mean by that is this, that let's say once a computer has been assigned to an individual, then the office IT technician needs to install all the available software, such as, case in point, Office 2016, Office 2013, or whatever version you have, and other necessary software on that person's computer to make sure that they are productive come the day that they actually come in. So in that case, then how would that person know that Faisal Akhtar now has had a computer assigned to him, that the value of computer assigned to this field is equal to yes? Now, one thing that he can do is actually come to the employee onboarding checklist and actually go to the list view and check the computer assigned report. And from last time, if he remembers or if he doesn't remember, compare his notes and say, okay, Faisal Akhtar is a new employee. his computer has been assigned, I need to go now install his software. So software installed is equal to no, but computer assigned is equal to yes. I have to go install his software. So I am wearing let's say I was the IT support person for this company, for Horace Technology Solutions. Now I need to install this software. Now, but the problem with that approach is it only depends upon when that person comes in to actually check this list. What if that person is busy? What if that person forgets? Or what if you would like that person to be notified immediately when when a computer gets assigned to Faisal Akhtar or any new employee, so that they can come in and immediately start to install their software or start to do their work? How can we do that? What we can do is a mechanism within SharePoint, which is called the alert me mechanism. We're going to go under list settings on the top left corner under list. I'm going to say alert me and say set an alert on this list. And on this list, we're going to say employee onboarding checklist, computer assigned alert. That's the name of the alert that I'm going to create. And in this case, let's assume that I'm sending this alert to myself. You can obviously write the name of the person. Let's say it's Triana or John or Joe or somebody else who you would like to add to the user list, who would like to receive this alert along with Faisal Akhtar. You can add that user here, and you can say, how would you like this person to be notified? In this case, I'm going to select email. And on what changes would you like this person to be notified? So you only want this person to be notified when new items get added to this list. But one key thing, what type of changes or what kind of changes should this person be notified? And this is where the view mechanism is going to come in. We're going to say that someone changes an item that appears in the following view. We're going to say the computer assigned view. And we're going to say send an email notification immediately. So in summary, we created an alert and a title for the alert called the computer assigned alert. We specified who this alert will be sent to. We specified how this alert will be sent. We specified what type of changes this person will be notified of, and specifically when this person will be notified whenever a new item gets added to the particular view named called computer assigned. And I'm going to click OK. An alert will be created for me that will allow me to be notified whenever a new item gets added to the computer assigned view. So now that I have created this alert, I'm going to go back to the all items view. And for John Smith, I'm going to make a change to John Smith. I'm going to say that the computer has been assigned to John Smith and click save. As soon as I do that, notice that from the all items view, if I switch to the computer assigned view, John Smith now starts appearing in that particular view. Now, because in the previous step, the way we set up the alert was that alert was going to be sent whenever a new item gets added to this particular view, John Smith will the person who is assigned to this alert will immediately get an email that a new item called John Smith has been added to the computer assigned view and his computer has been assigned. That means you can go ahead and start installing their software. Okay. So this way, with the combination of alerts, metadata, lists, and list items, and versioning. Now, finally, versioning. That's one thing that is very important that I started at the beginning of the video that I promised that I was going to show you what to do. Now, using versioning, what you can do is you can track a particular list item. So for John Smith, let's say the person comes in for the employee onboarding checklist, the IT person comes in and the computer has been assigned, but his software has been installed. But the next step in the process is that the physical space needs to be assigned to him. So I click the save button. Now, this person, John Smith, is currently appearing in the computer assigned view, but let's see if he appears in the software installed view. because we specified that John Smith has his software installed, he now starts appearing in the software installed view. But now the next person in line might be the physical space assigned, or the person who needs to specifically assign the cube or create a cube for that physical space for that person to sit. So now you can create an alert for that person on this view called the software installed view. That way, whenever a new item gets added to this view, that person gets notified and they can create a cube specific physical space for John Smith. But one cool thing of all of this is, you remember at the beginning of this demo, we turned on versioning? The reason we turned on versioning is, let's say for argument's sake that you would like to know, or you would like to find out from what point to what point, or how did this particular entry evolve from start to finish. So when was this entry created? Who created it? When was it modified? Who modified it? When was this person's computer assigned field was set to yes? When was this person's software installed? When was this person's physical space assigned? What we can do is select that item and click version history. And when we click version history, we will see that at 3:19 at 5:06 p.m., the person named Faisal Akhtar created this item called the employee named John Smith, assigned department accounting to him, and at that time, computer assigned, software assigned, all the fields were set to no. But on version 2 at 3:19 at 2016 at 5:13 p.m., Faisal Akhtar changed the computer assigned field to yes, meaning that the computer was assigned to John Smith, the person named John Smith. His computer was assigned at 5:13, and finally, all the necessary software for him was installed at 5:40. Now, the reason you see the times are so quick is because I'm doing a quick demo. But obviously, if it goes over time and if you have multiple people modifying the checklist, this version history will be a very key piece of information for you to track who made what changes and when, to make sure that everybody's accountable for what changes they made and when. Okay. So that ends the demo part. Let's switch back over to the PowerPoint. Okay. In conclusion, what I discussed with you today was how to create an onboarding / tracking checklist for a small business, and this was not very complicated, a very simple onboarding tracking / checklist using Office 365 and SharePoint Online. If you would like to get a free trial of Office 365 along with SharePoint Online, I will provide a link in the description below. Or you can send us an email at info@horaceTS.com for more information, or you may visit us online at horaceTS.com. And if you found this information helpful, please like the video. If you have any questions or comments, please write them in the comment section below. And finally, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.